Hey, sports fans, welcome back to another episode of Bucky's Sports Show. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Braves at Mets series and the Braves versus Phillies series. Braves came into the week at 35-41, which was third in the NL East, and they had a golden opportunity for the week, getting ready to face the Mets and the Phillies this week, who are number 1 and number 2 in the NL East. Monday night started off really well. Braves won this game 3-2. They got a home run from Acuna. He added another hit. Olson added 2 hits. Riley added 2 hits. Schwellenbach, he was good again. He went 7 innings, giving up 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, struck out 4. And the 2 runs he gave up was on a Juan Soto home run. So really, he had 1 disastrous pitch. And that's it. So he had a very, very solid outing when they needed him to have a solid outing. Now the bad side for the Braves, once again, hitting with runners in scoring position. They were 1 for 11. They left 11 men on base. They could have blown the doors off of this thing. But their lack of ability to hit with runners in scoring position is becoming a very serious problem. A bullpen, they came in, did their job. Iglesias, he pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, had to take him out. But then Dylan Lee came in. He didn't give up anything in an inning and a third. He had 2 strikeouts. And I'm mentioning this because they got a save. The Braves bullpen got a save. This was their first save in 31 games. Not only was it their first save in 31 games, it was their first save opportunity in 31 games. They went a whole month without having an opportunity to get a save. At the end of the night, overall, pretty solid performance. 3-2 win. Nothing huge here. Home runs by Acuna. The Soto hit one for the Mets. Schwellenbach, he was good. Strikeouts were low, but that's all right. You're not going to have high strikeouts every game. He kept men off base. He only allowed 5 base runners. So, end of the day, pretty solid outing. Pretty solid outing for everyone. We'll take the win, and we'll move on to Tuesday night here. And the Braves won this game 7-4. Spencer Strider got the start in this game. He went 5 innings. He gave up 3 runs on 2 hits, 4 walks, struck out 8. Very encouraging to see his strikeout total continue to rise. Hopefully his walk total continues to lower. His hits is about where you want it to be. He only gave up 2 of them. For the Braves, again, they were 4 of 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 10 men on base. Probably left too many men on base, but you can work with hitting 400. Probably why they scored 7 runs that game. Acuna struggled. He walked twice. Olson was 2 of 4. Ozuna, Riley, White all had hits. Nick Allen was 3 of 4. Just a really solid game. Wish they wouldn't have left 10 men on base, but they were still able to score 7 runs. Their damage came in the 6th. They scored 5 runs in that 6th inning. Ozzie Albies with a sac fly, RBI. Eli White singled home a run. Nick Allen singled home a run. Matt Olson, he singled home 2 runs. Then in the 8th, Olson added another RBI on a double. Then Riley doubled him in. just a really, really good outing. And Iglesias was able to get back on track with a save in this game. Well, they go 31 games without a save, and then they get 2 saves in a row. Baseball's kind of a funny game in that way. Also to note in this game, Ronald Acuna Jr. picked up his 4th stolen base. That is his 200th career stolen base. That's a good sign. That is back-to-back games that Acuna had a stolen base. So he is now starting to play a lot like his old self, not just with the batting and fielding, but now with the running as well. So if we can get him clicking on all cylinders here, we'll see what happens. Going into Wednesday night, Braves lost this game 7-3. Again, runners in scoring position, they were 1 for 6. They left 9 on base. Also in this game, Didier Fuentes got his 2nd start of his career. He went 3 1/3 innings, gave up 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 strikeout, gave up 2 home runs. Now, his first time through the rotation wasn't horrible. Mets had Mauricio. He hit a home run. He hits out of the 8th spot. So kind of just a bad location there. Baldwin was able to answer that with a home run of his own in the top of the 4th for the Braves the next inning. But it's the bottom of the 4th that did us in. That's where the Mets scored 5 of their 7 runs. Soto homered, Marte sac fly, Batty RBI single, Lindor sac fly, Nimmo RBI single. Fuentes, his first outing, had really bad location. His second outing, he had a nice first time through the location, had that one little hiccup in the 3rd with the home run. But in the 4th, the Mets made adjustments. He did not. And him not making adjustments hurt. Hurt really bad in the tune of 6 runs. I think he's going to get one more start. I hope he does because he looked better. And I think this next go around he'll be even better. But he's got to hit his locations. He's got to make adjustments to batters, knowing that they're going to make adjustments as well. But other than that 4th inning, Juan Soto homered in the 7th for his 2nd one on the day. Ronald Acuna Jr., he singled in 2 runs in the top of the 9th, trying to claw their way back in. Just couldn't do that. So the score looks bad in this game at 7-3, but it's really not as bad as what you take that 1 inning away, and you give yourself a chance there. And at the end of the day, that's all you really want, just a chance. But you can't give up 5 runs in 1 inning and win games. The Mets saw that the night before. Going into Thursday, this game just wasn't pretty. I don't know how else to say it. Braves lost this game 4-0. They could only scratch out 3 hits. 3 hits. Olsen, Ozuna, White all had hits. They didn't even get a walk. They struck out 11 times. Just a really bad performance from the offense. And on those 3 hits, the Braves were 0-4 with runners in scoring position, and they left 3 on base. And then you go to your pitching, and Holmes gave you 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, struck out 6. Not a horrible performance, but way too many base runners. First 3 innings, they had runners on third base every inning, and he somehow just kept getting out of it. But you can only go so many times before you get bit, and that's what happened to him. Fourth inning, they scratched one across. Fifth inning, they scratched one across. Braves bullpen, they weren't spectacular, but Johnson came in, pitched an inning, didn't give up anything. Uh, Dobb pitched the seventh. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. He gave up a 2-run single that just kind of deflated your hopes of, with as bad as the Braves offense was, that they would get anything going. Peterson came in. He didn't give up anything. Starting pitcher, he went 5 innings, 2 runs. He did what he needed to do, try to give the offense an opportunity to win the game. The reliever, Dodd, he didn't help matters by giving up 2 runs, but with as bad as the offense was, that's all. Nothing else really mattered. Offense is terrible. You can't just get 3 hits and then when you do 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, just absolute nightmare. Braves were 6 of 31 with runners in scoring position this series. That's 194, a 194 average. I'm surprised they won 2 games. I really am. I'm surprised that first game on Monday night when they went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position, they were able to win. Thankfully, they probably had this year's ace on the mound in Schwellenbach. Otherwise, they probably don't win. So luckily, they were able to get out of New York with a 2-2 split. They didn't help themselves, but they didn't hurt themselves. And then Friday, Friday, I was at a Toledo Mud Hens game. I saw when I looked at the score on my phone that they were in a delay. It was going to start about 9:30. I thought, oh good, I'll be able to watch the majority of this thing. And I saw a complete shit show is what I saw. When I got back to my hotel room, it was already 5-0 Phillies after 2. They added 6 more in the third. They'd go on to add 2 more in the ninth. Phillies won this game 13-0. Braves got 9 hits, and they could not scratch one run across. And not only did the Phillies score 13 runs, they left 11 men on base. This could have been just a complete and utter mess than what it was. The Braves, Elder, he went 2+ innings. He pitched into the third. He could not get anyone out in that third inning. He gave up, in his 2+ innings of work, 8 hits, 10 runs, 9 of them earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, 3 home runs. Peterson came in after him. He gave up 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, a home run, and his 2 2/3 inning. And then the Braves bullpen wasn't that bad. De Los Santos came in for an inning in the third. He gave up a couple hits, but no runs. Montero came in, didn't give up anything. Lee came in, he gave up a walk, but no runs. And then they brought in backup shortstop Luke Williams to pitch an inning. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. One of them was a home run. You know what? You can live with a shortstop giving up a home run in an 11-0 game. Like, at that point, who cares? But when you have to bring a shortstop in, that's just a nightmare of a night. First pitch was supposed to be 7:15. It didn't start till 9:34. And then you get off to that 11-0 start, and it's just, the rain was coming down. They took Acuna out so he wouldn't get hurt. They ended up taking H2 out, I assume for the same reason. Because even though they started playing, the rain started back up again. It was just an absolute nightmare of a show. Again, 1 for 6 with runners scoring position, 11 men on base. Just a brutal game. I just spent more time on that game than what I wanted to. Going to Saturday, this game was much, much better. Spencer Schwellenbach got the start. This was his fourth start against the Phillies. He went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, 3 hits, 1 walk, struck out 12. 12 strikeouts. Like I said, 4 starts, he is 3-0 against the Phillies. He has never lost to the Philadelphia Phillies. Hopefully I don't jinx that right there. We shall see. In this game, the Braves got off the scoring on Riley single in the first. Nick Allen had an RBI single in the second. And then, in all actuality, it was one swing in the seventh that kind of deflated the Phillies, I feel. Sean Murphy hit his 10th home run of the season. It was his first one in a month. It was a grand slam, though. So that gave the Braves a 6-1 lead, and the bullpen was able to come in after that. And Iglesias gave up a hit in the 8th. And other than that, there were no other base runners for the Phillies. Just really solid game. Braves were 4 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Obviously, you'd like to see that a little bit better. They left 8 men on base. Knowing that 4 of their 6 runs came on one swing, you have to find ways to scratch runs across without a home run. You got to be able to hit singles to score some runs, and they were not doing that. Also in this game, H2 got a night off. That hardly ever happens, but Snit gave him a night off, and we'll discuss that a little more here in a moment. But the Braves won this game 6-1. Going into Sunday, you know how I feel about pitchers' duels. I like a good pitchers' duel. And this was a really nice pitchers' duel. This was Ranger Suarez versus Spencer Strider. Strider went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Suarez went 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 1 walk, 8 Ks. And Sean Murphy went a month without hitting a home run. He hit his second home run in 2 days, so it is 11th on the season. And then the Phillies, they had a RBI double in the 5th, and then that turned into a sac fly later on that inning, and that's all they had. 2 runs. Strider gave the offense an opportunity. Braves offense, though, they could only manage one at bat with runners in scoring position, and they left 7 men on base. They had 2 walks, 6 hits. The only run they scored on was a home run, so they had 7 base runners, and they could only get one of those base runners to second base or beyond. And that was just for one at bat. Just one at bat. It's really frustrating when your starting pitching does what they need to do. The bullpen came in, they did what they needed to do, not allow anyone to score, and your offense can't get a hit with runners in scoring. But not only can they not get a hit with runners in scoring position, they can't even get a runner in scoring position. Just an absolute nightmare. On the flip side of that, though, the Phillies were 0-7 with runners in scoring position. So this game could have been a lot worse, but it also could have been a lot better. Going back to H2 having Saturday night off, he also had Sunday off. He got hit in the arm earlier in the week and had to leave a game. I don't know if he is feeling some effects to that. He did get an at bat on Saturday night, but he did not see the game on Sunday, so I don't know if he is hurting a little bit from that, or if they just gave him a couple days off because a couple of lefties were throwing. I don't know what the deal was. Hopefully we see him back in action this coming week. My weekly takeaways: you had a golden opportunity with your first and second place teams in the NL East to gain ground. You had 7 games, and you went 3-4, and both teams are not playing the greatest of baseball right now. The Phillies are 5-5 in their last 10. The Mets are 3-7 in their last 10. Also, for the Phillies in the month of June, they're currently 13-13. So your first place team was 500 in the month of June. They're not playing well. The Mets aren't playing well. The Braves, and I've said the last 2 weeks, the Braves, they had series they had to win. And they didn't do that. But right now, and I don't really start looking at the standings yet, but we're gonna look at them. The Phillies are in first place, a game and a half ahead of the Mets, and 10.5 ahead of the Braves. So the Braves only find themselves 10.5 games out. Now, they just passed the halfway mark of the season. They are currently 38-45. They've played 83 games, so they've played 2 more than what halfway point of the season is. They're only 10.5 games back. They're 8 games back in the wild card. On the wild card, they need to leap the Diamondbacks, who are struggling right now, the Reds, the Giants are starting to go to where people thought they would. The Padres pitching is falling off the earth right now. The Cardinals and the Brewers. With all that, the Braves have another golden opportunity. At 10.5 games back, they have 12 games before the All-Star break. They've got the Los Angeles Angels, who's 41-42. They got the Baltimore Orioles, who's 36-47. Well, they got the Athletics, who's 34-52. And they got the Cardinals, who's 47-38. So they have 3 teams there who's under 500. And then a team they need to beat to help themselves in the wild card. These next 2 weeks will be pivotal. If they can't take care of business and win series and get at least 2 sweeps out of this thing, they're going to really be hurting after the All-Star break. But the next 6 games, they're coming up against the Angels. They're coming up against Baltimore. Angels, they just lost 2 of 3 to the Nationals. Their manager, Ron Washington, he is out for the rest of the season on medical leave. I really wish him the best of luck there. He was a fantastic coach in the Braves organization. Nothing but respect for Wash. Hopefully that's not a dire situation. He's able to come back. But you got a team reeling. The Braves have to take advantage of it. And then Baltimore's just been atrocious all year. They're in last place in the AL East. They did just beat the Rays Friday night 22-8, but they turned around the next day and lost 11-3. They did win today 5-1. but they're going to the Texans, who they lost to a couple times there a week or so ago. Just kind of a nightmare season for Baltimore. Braves really have to take advantage of those teams. Now, I will be back next Sunday to discuss next week's series homestand against the Angels and Orioles. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment, have anything you want me to discuss, email me at buckysportshow@gmail.com. Again, that's buckysportshow@gmail.com. As always, enjoy the games and go Braves!